Hi, I'm Simon. This is the Maximum RGB channel. Let's get to work. In this exercise, we're going to be exploring some basic layers and adjustment layers. We're going to be using some simple selection and masking tools. So it's fairly introductory, basic masking with basic selections, basic layers. Okay, so we're playing around with this original image here. And when we finish, we'll have something similar to this. That's the finished article with my layers on top, and that's the original background. Of course, we are going to adhere to my principles of non-destructive editing workflow, which means that our background has not been touched in any way. The background has always remains intact at the bottom of the layer stack, and everything we do is in these additional layers that are added to the stack over here. By holding down the Alt key, as I click on any layer icon, it turns off all the other layers and I can see that layer on its own. So if you hold the Alt key down, click on a layer, you can do that anywhere. If we can use one of these ones, if you like, you just see that layer over there or that one there. So that's the original image and the finished image. Okay, so let's get going. I have a work file ready over here. That's the original picture, and this is what we're going to do. So first of all, we need to duplicate that football a few times. We need 4 extra footballs, so there's 5 in total. And if the background is nice and pure white, which I just need to check, it looks white, but we need to prove to ourselves that it is actually pure white. If the background is pure white, then we can just do a very simple selection without fussing about the edges. So just to check, we'll pick up the eyedropper tool. It's over here, that's the eyedropper. And we keep an eye on our RGB values over here. So we're looking for 255 red, 255 green and 255 blue. Over here, as we pass around in the background, looking to the top right corner for RGB numbers, we can see happily that everything is clearly already 255, nice and white. That's the way we like it. Good. So then we can just grab ourselves a marquee tool. The elliptical marquee tool is nested there below the rectangular one, like so. Where's my highlighter? There we go. Elliptical marquee tool, and then we're just going to draw use a selection, a circle selection. So for a pure circle, we hold down the Shift key and we get a proper circle like that. We can just make it just slightly bigger than the football. That gives us our marching ants. So this is the selected area of the photo, and it's a simple copy and paste job, just like you would do with a Word document, with a paragraph of words or a sentence of words. In Photoshop, when we copy, it makes a copy of the layer that is selected over here in blue in the layers palette, and when we paste, it will always appear on a new layer in the layer stack. So edit menu, copy, and then edit menu, paste. Okay, so when we paste, now we don't see it, but we don't see it in the image because it's just sat right on top of the original. But over here, you can see, if we turn the background layer off, that there's a new copy of the football over there. So we'll paste a few more times. We'll go, so it's Command V is the shortcut. I'll show you that again. That's over there. Paste, Command V is the shortcut. So Command V and Command V and Command V. Okay, those balls, sometimes they do drop in somewhere else when you don't do it immediately. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, there we go, we've got them all. Okay, so there's a little bit of white around these balls. We have to be careful not to get too close to his face or the rest of his body. Okay, there we go, we've got our footballs there. Okay, now we just need to size them up a little bit. Where are they? And also maybe just do some layer renaming. Let's pull that one down to the bottom of the stack. This one here is in the bottom left hand corner. So double click the name and we'll call that bottom left. And this one here is mid left. And this one is mid right. And this one here is top right. Okay. Let's start in the bottom left hand corner again. So we select the layer we want to operate on, and this we are going to we're going to transform this layer, which is in the edit menu, and we can use free transform or a transform scale, either way. Let's do free transform. When we go free transform, it allows us to scale and rotate, and which can be handy sometimes. So that's free transform in the edit menu, Command T on the keyboard, and then we can simply hold down the shift key, very important, to make sure that the transformation stays proportional. In other words, when we change the width, the height changes proportionally. Let's make that there, and when we're ready, just hit the yes, the tick in the options bar along there, or you can hit the enter on the keyboard. That applies the transformation. Then we move to the mid left ball over there. We'll make this one very small, so it's Command T on the keyboard and hold the shift key down. We'll make this small so it looks like it's way off in the distance. Enter on the keyboard, and then we can go to the next one, the mid right, and we'll go Command T. This one I'm going to stretch this one just very slightly large and make it look as if it's coming towards us. Okay, hit enter on the keyboard, and then we've got top right that can drop away a little bit by reducing in size, like so. There we go. So there we have the 5 balls springing out. With the move tool, if you make sure that you've got the auto select on, when you click on a different part of the image, it'll jump around. Can you see over here? It'll jump around according to the layer that you click on, which is handy in this situation. There are situations where that's not handy and we untick it, but for now it's good. Okay, so all looking good. Now we just need to do our black and white conversion. So for this we need to make a selection of the blue in his shirt and kit. If we make a selection first, then when we do our black and white adjustment layer, we'll get a mask based on that selection. So let's go. We're going to be making a selection using the magic wand tool. So we click on the background there because that's where we're making our selection. And the magic wand tool is over here somewhere in the toolbar. It's nested down there below the quick selection tool, magic wand tool there. Okay, and the magic wand tool, by default, you'll find it's 32 up here in the tolerance setting. That's how tolerant is the magic wand. We'll come back to that. So if it's not on 32 already, maybe start off with it in 32. And the other very important part of the options up here is the contiguous. That word there, contiguous or not, in this instant we don't want it to be contiguous. So if it's ticked, you untick it, and we don't want it contiguous. This means that, well, when we use the magic wand, we click on an area we want to select. So we want to select the blue, we click on an area of the blue, and Photoshop races off to find all the similar pixels to the blue that I clicked on. And it, depending on it finds similar pixels, and how similar they are, or how similar they are that it's allowed, will depend on the tolerance value. So if you have a higher tolerance value, then more pixels will be selected. They don't have to be quite so similar to the pixels that I clicked on. If I have a very low tolerance, then it's very intolerant and less pixels will be selected. Contiguous would mean that all the pixels selected have to continuously be connected back to the point where I clicked on. Confused? There's no need to be. Just follow me, and in this instance here, let's not have continuous selected. What we do want to do now though is we've got a little bit of selection going now. We need some more of this. It's not selected enough, so we need to add to this selection. We want to keep this part of the selection, but we want to add to the selection. So we're going to continue to use the magic wand tool, but we're going to hold down the shift key on the keyboard, and you'll see I get a little plus sign come up next to my cursor, which means I'm going to add to that selection and click again. And we can keep holding down the shift key and just keep adding a few times. Just click into the blue areas that we want to add to the selection. Let's zoom in. That's Command plus to zoom in a little bit. Thumb down onto the spacebar allows me to move around the image, and let's just see how successful this selection is. It's looking pretty good. I like it. I can't see too much wrong with it. Maybe a few more little bits around the edge, but we need to add a little bit more blue. So holding the shift key down and clicking again there, just to take this a little tighter up to the edge. Looking good all around there. Possibly a tiny little bit in there. Yep, that's good as well. And I think that's not a bad start for the selection at all. Looks to be pretty good. Excellent. Zooming out again, have another look. Slight problem. We've selected, there must be some blue in the black on the football on the same layer as the background, so some of the blue has come up as being selected, so I need to just subtract this from the selection. So what I can do is go over to, say, the lasso tool, hold the Alt key down, and then we'll get a little minus in our next to my cursor. You see that little minus, and I'm just going to minus this selection from the selection. So that takes that out of the selected area as such. So now I have the blue selected on his t-shirt. That's great. What we're going to do is we're going to use a black and white adjustment layer. And when we create the adjustment layer, Photoshop's going to recognize that I have this selection active, and it's going to build a mask based on that selection. So it will mask out actually the selected area. Now I've got the blue selected out, so it's going to be an inverted mask actually. Let's just go ahead. Sometimes you have to think a little bit to get this the right way around. So if we go to the black and white adjustment, which is the shortcut in the layer menu, is over here. Can you see? That's the adjustment layers. Click on that and we'll go down to black and white like that. Okay, you'll see what's happened here is actually it's masked out everything in the background. It's done the opposite to what I wanted it to do. The masking, if I hold the Alt key down and click on the mask, you'll see that everything is masked except the blue area. So the blue area has been made to go black and white. No problem at all though, we just need to invert this mask, which is a Command I on the keyboard. That mask there is a black and white image, so we just need to invert it the other way around, so everything that's black becomes white and everything white becomes black. So Command I does that for us. That's the correct mask we want. Holding Alt on the keyboard, back on the mask, you'll get our finished result. So there we have it. There is still a little bit more work to do because these adjustment layers, what they do is they just affect all of the layers that are underneath that layer. And we've got the adjustment layer just sitting above the background layer. So at the moment, this adjustment layer is only affecting the background layer and it's not affecting the other footballs that are sitting above. No problem at all. We just grab that that adjustment layer and we just drag it up the layer stack there, so it's sitting at the top. And now if we turn that layer icon on and off, you can see what it's doing. It's going to make everything below the adjustment layer is going to be affected by that adjustment. Everything, all the layers underneath, so it's now making all the layers black and white, except where that layer has been masked in here, where the layer is black, sorry, where the mask is black, we have black concealing that adjustment. So where the adjustment is concealed, we see straight through that adjustment layer. That adjustment layer has no effect in the black areas, and therefore we see the original colours underneath. Get it? Okay. And I think there we have it. There we have our finished image. There's the adjustment layer, there's the mask. Hold down the Alt key to see the mask, and job done. Thank you very much. Subscribe to my channel. See you again soon. Bye.